they're gonna go undefeated.
All right. Well, we thought New Orleans. Everybody thinks New Orleans is the number 1 team in the NFC. Number 2, everybody thinks the Vikings. I'm gonna let Derek take over this segue. Your thoughts about the game, Cardinals and Vikings Sunday night.
Well, the Cardinals came out and hit them in the mouth. It's like the Vikings, for some reason, were not ready for that. I mean, they weren't. I mean, the Cardinals just came through and said, "We're the Cardinals. We do what we do," and they just kept pushing the pace, and they kept pressuring Favre. They were not quite getting into the first half. Then the second half, they started to get to him. They just didn't give up on getting to Brett Favre, and they covered the receivers. The receivers weren't able to get open, and they kept Adrian Peterson bottled up.
Actually,
I mean, he just.
They still didn't give Adrian Peterson the ball enough. I think that's.
It's like
the Vikings
it was a big game, but where was Adrian Peterson?
Well, it's his fault. They don't give him the ball.
Yeah,
but he wasn't doing it.
You want to talk about bottled up? For most of the game, they had Percy Harvin bottled up. He's like the key.
He got a garbage time.
The key to me is who's that left tackle? Arizona's left tackle.
Mike Gandy.
Didn't he get hurt and then their backup came in? And he shut Jared Allen down.
Well,
they were tripping him a lot.
Yeah,
they were tripping him with the tight end and with Hightower a lot.
Yeah, it was a
well, it seemed like the Vikings,
they were intentionally
the Vikings, they couldn't get pressure with their front four, and they panicked and they started blitzing. Because the Vikings don't blitz a lot. They get so much pressure with their front four.
Yeah, they don't have to.
And they start blitzing, and that's when you saw them big plays.
And I think the Cardinals exposed how you play Jared Allen.
Yeah, and then the other thing is
they exposed their secondary because the Vikings.
Yeah, without Winfield, their secondary is really good.
It was just a bad matchup for Minnesota in this game, and Arizona.
Yeah. Well, none of that. But think about the Vikings. To me, I said this before. They haven't played anybody tough this year.
Exactly.
Really, especially on the road. The only tough game they had on the road was Pittsburgh. They lost that game. The other 2 toughest games they had was Green Bay. Yeah. And Green Bay's 8-4, but do we really think Green Bay is that good?
Green Bay's
they're improving.
Yeah,
they're not that good, but they're improving.
They're getting better.
Yeah.
It's surprising me.
And Brett Favre got lulled into making mistakes.
Oh, but the other question about Favre, remember this is the time last year where he started falling apart. Is that going to happen now, or was it just Cardinals D this time?
The Cardinals D, because the Cardinals showed him some looks like that he had never seen before. It's like somebody called it an amoeba. I think Al Michaels or Chris Collinsworth called it an amoeba defense because
didn't get that from didn't the Browns just run that?
No, that was the UFO. The UFO.
Oh.
The Cardinals looked kind of almost Sandlot-ish when they didn't. You couldn't tell where when you have athletes like Adrian Wilson, Antrell Roll, Carlos Dansby back there, you can do a lot of things with them. And when you can get pressure on the quarterback, even if they don't get all the way to him, you can have like that interception by Carlos Dansby. You can have things like that happen.
The other thing I never saw from the Cardinals before, they went to the Wildcat with Antrell Roll at quarterback,
and they went to the Wildcat with Antrell.
They said he could throw the ball 80 yards.
That dude has a cannon. He threw it in the Giants. No, wait, I think it's the Giants game. He threw it in one game and he just uncorked it. And Larry Fitzgerald dropped it. Otherwise, it'd have been TD. But Roll has a cannon.
All right, we gotta move on to next game. It's Green Bay at Baltimore. For some reason, I picked the Ravens here. I thought the Ravens had so much bad luck this year. I thought they would sack up and win this game. But Ed Reed being out, Suggs out, they just had too many injuries. Anything you guys learned from this game, Green Bay over Baltimore?
Yeah, I learned Green Bay and Baltimore are the 2 worst teams in terms of
penalties.
Yeah, penalties.
Yeah,
I didn't know that before that game, and so the game was ugly to start off with. Both teams had turnovers, had mad penalties, but it just came down to Green Bay had less in the end, and it wasn't Green Bay, and they were just able to pull it off.
Well, I thought Flacco went kind of in that sophomore slump.
Yeah,
seemed like because them 2 interceptions he had were just horrible.
Bonehead. Derek Anderson is.
And then the other thing is, like you said, I didn't know about Green Bay. They had the number 1 ranked defense.
Oh yeah.
And then Aaron Rodgers is number 5 passer. I'm wondering, like, well, if their defense that good, Rodgers is throwing that low. Why aren't they better than 8-4? That's it because of the penalties
Yep.
and the special teams.
And and he gets sacked a lot.
Yeah, and the sacks, and then not only that, but they still don't run the ball as well as they like they need to. Trust me, I got Ryan Grant. They don't run the ball as much as they need to. All right, the last game we didn't talk about the Dolphins and the Patriots. Patriots blew I don't know how big a lead they had in this game, but we talked about this earlier. Patriots haven't won a road game yet this year. But the sad thing about it, I think they're going to still make the playoffs because they're going to win that future division. But let's talk about the Dolphins. Can they make a playoff run?
Yeah, it's possible. I mean,
That's a good question.
they're a scrappy, hard-nosed team, and
We talked about it last week. We didn't have them getting in, did we?
Actually, the Dolphins are in a 4-way tie, 6-6 in the conference. So
Yeah, they got a shot.
they're still in the hunt. I mean, Baltimore, Miami, the Jets, and Pittsburgh are all 6-6 right now.
they still have a chance. But I still don't think they're going to make it.
And they need Jacksonville to mess up, though.
Well, have the Dolphins have found their QB for the future? They had problems with QB for so long. I think they found their QB now.
Like, I always thought Chad Henne was a smart choice as far as when they drafted him. I was like, he's gonna do all right. Even though he went to Michigan, but I think so.
Yeah,
I mean, they can surround him with targets.
Well, they've already surrounded him with a couple Ohio State receivers.
Your Heartline stepping his game up, and
It's
Ted
funny to
Ginn,
me, but
Glenville represent is
I don't want to know about Glenville, man. I'm so disappointed in them. I don't wanna hear about
me
them.
too.
Yeah.
I'm hurt.
That was the biggest letdown ever.
But the other team was playing inspired because one of the team members got hit by a train.
They ain't gonna do it inspired. Ted Ginn lost that game himself. He was playing stupid. He ain't gonna play inspired.
yeah, but anyway.
All right. Well, that's it for the week 13 games. We go to the preview games for week 14. When we come back. Week 13, I thought was a pivotal game as far as the picks because there was so many. A couple guys had big weeks to get back in it, and some guys fell out. Week 14, there are a lot of games that could go either way this week. So I think this is going to be another key week. You can see a lot of people make a big move or possibly fall off. But we'll get into that when we get back.